Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Celtic Warband here, and thanks for tuning in to another epic siege battle in Rome 2 Total War. This is a 4 versus 3, so it is a very massive battle, and it was a battle submitted by Tattoos and Welding, who is a member on my Discord. So thanks very much for submitting it, man. I appreciate it, and I hope you guys do enjoy this battle. And without further ado, let's take a look at the army comps. The first army on the battlefield today is the Arverni, commanded by Tattoos and Welding, and Tattoos and Welding is all alone on this little section of wall here, which has a gate. The other three attackers are deployed well on the other side of the city, so I hope that he doesn't get singled out in this battle. If the defenders gather together all of their cavalry, he will have a little bit of trouble containing them due to the fact that he only brought one unit of cavalry himself. But I guess we will see what happens in the actual battle, and let's take a look at what units he's brought. So he's brought 3 units of Oathsworn, which are very expensive units for the Arverni, but they are the best infantry that they can field. Very, very solid units. And then he's brought 4 units of Chosen Swordsmen, and these Chosen Swordsmen are kind of equivalent to Roman legionaries, the basic legionaries. They will lose to veteran legionaries and Evocati cohort, etc., but they're a pretty cost-effective unit for the Arverni. And then he's brought 4 units of Gallic Hunters, and the thing I really like about these Gallic Hunters is that they have a hide ability that is very, very good, so he could probably get these units almost right up to the walls before the defenders even knew that he had them. So really solid archer units, and I think their range is quite good as well. Then he has a couple of throwaway units as well, 2 units of Levy Freemen, 1 on the tower and 1 not, and the rest of his soldiers are on these towers. They are Celtic warriors, and the Celtic warriors are just standard sword and shield units. You can see that they're much more lightly armored than the Chosen Swords and Oathsworn, but more heavily armored than the Levy Freemen, so they're kind of a middle ground. And I think they're only 300 denarii, so they're very, very cost-effective units, and really good in these situations for pushing towers up to walls as well. And then, of course, he just has 1 unit of the Heavy Horse, which is the second best cavalry that the Arverni can bring. The first being, of course, the Noble Horse. But that does round out Tattoos and Welding's forces, so let's go ahead and take a look at the next attacker. The second attacking army on the battlefield today is also the Arverni, and this one is commanded by Joe Onnet, and he just has an absolute wall of siege towers here. I think he has 8 altogether, which is incredible, and on the towers he's got 5 units of the Celtic warriors, so standard melee infantry. Then he has 3 units of the Chosen Swordsmen on these 3 towers, and then he's actually held 3 of them in reserve as well, so really heavy infantry focused. He also has 2 units of Light Horse moving over here as well. He's got his General's Bodyguard, which is an Oathsworn, and then he's brought 2 units of Naked Warriors, and these Naked Warriors, obviously, they have pretty low armor, but their melee defense is really high, and good melee attack and melee damage, so they should be able to rip through heavily armored units. And then, of course, also going for the 4 units of Gallic Hunters as well. And that is it for Joe Onnet's force, so let's go ahead and take a look at the next one. The third attacking army on the battlefield today is also Arverni, and this one is commanded by Antonio Rodriguez, and he's got a decent amount of towers. He's got 5 altogether, or 6, I believe, if I can count correctly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yes. And he's got 5 units of the Celtic warriors on the towers with 1 unit of Naked warriors, but he also has 2 more units of Naked warriors held in reserve. Also going for the Gallic Hunters as well, 4 units, and he does have the Heavy Horse as well, just 1. Then he's got some Chosen Swordsmen, 6 units total of them, plus his General, who is an Oathsworn unit. And that rounds out Antonio's Arverni force, so let's go ahead and take a look at the final attacker. The final attacking army on the battlefield today is Rome, and this one is commanded by Master Harry 999, and he's brought a lot of heavy infantry. Of course, Rome really known for their heavy infantry. He's got on the towers 5 units of veteran legionaries, and right behind there he's got 3 units of the auxiliary Syrian archers. He can only bring 3 because they're capped to that amount, and then he's brought 1 unit of the Balearic slingers. And he also has an eagle cohort on the towers as well, and he has another one in reserve with an armored legionary unit. So really heavy into the heavy infantry. Then for his cavalry, he's got 2 units of the Soci Equites, pretty solid shock cavalry, and his general's bodyguard. And that is finally it for the attackers, guys, so let's go ahead and take a look at what the defenders have brought. So unfortunately, due to Rome 2 mechanics, if the attackers don't have any men inside the city or up on the walls, we actually can't see any of the defenders whatsoever. They are all hidden. And even if the attackers are inside the city at certain points, some of the units that are farther away will still remain hidden. But never fear, I've got some unit cards for you guys to see, so you can see which factions the defenders chose and what their army compositions entail. So we're going to take a look at the first one. It is the glorious Spartans, commanded by No Snow 25, and he's got his Royal Spartan for his general and some citizen cavalry. He's also got 2 units of the Helot archers and 2 units of Helot javelins, 2 units of the heroes of Sparta. You're capped to 2 with the Spartans, so that's the most you can bring. And then he's got a bunch of Spartan hoplites and 2 units of Spartan pikemen, and that rounds out the Spartan force. The second army on the battlefield today defending this fair city is Egypt, commanded by Italix. Hope I pronounced your name correctly. But he's got the Egyptian war elephants for his general, and then he has 2 units of javelins and 2 units of Numidian bowmen. And then he just went for a full Galatian swordsman spam. I believe he's got 9 units of them. And then he has 2 units of pikemen and 4 units of Thurio spears. And finally, the last defending army is the Seleucids, commanded by Psycho-Geocoptus, or Coptosis. I hope I pronounced your name somewhat correctly. But he's gone for the Hellenic Cataphracts as his general. Then he has 2 units of light peltis and 2 units of the heavy archers. And then he's got a lot of hillmen here. Interesting choice, 6 units of the Seleucid hillmen. And then he's got 2 units of the Silver Shield Pikemen, 2 units of Silver Shield Swordsmen, and 1 unit of Thorax Swordsmen. And that rounds out the Defenders' armies, guys. Thanks for sticking through to the end. And without further ado, let's get to the battle. Alright guys, welcome to the battlefield, and as you can see, the defenders have pretty much given up the walls to the attackers, which is a smart idea in a 4 versus 3, due to the fact that these towers really don't get as many kills as in Attila, so they're not as valuable, or there's not as much incentive to hold the walls, especially when you're outnumbered. In a 4v4, maybe it would have been a better option, but I do agree with the defenders here on just holding the strategic choke points and allowing the attackers to take the walls, because they are quite outnumbered. If you take a look at the balance of power, it's not looking too great for the defenders. I'd say it's 2/3 to 1/3. But we've got the Arverni over here, who have descended the walls with their Celtic warriors, going after some of the Galatian swordsmen. The Egyptian player is quite spread out as well, as you can see. He's got another unit of Galatian swordsmen here, but he's about to be surrounded by some naked warriors and Celtic warriors. He's got some units over here, and he's pretty much spread out through the entire outer city. So he's definitely got a lot of micromanaging to do, but he is doing really well over here against Tattoos and Welding. Tattoos and Welding, again, sending his cheaper troops up onto the walls, which is a smart idea. But these Egyptian slingers are just firing right up onto the walls, getting some good kills on those Celtic warriors. Again, their armor is pretty limited, and I doubt their missile block is very good as well. It is a little bit of a framey battle, guys, so I do apologize, probably due to the amount of men on the battlefield. It's close to 10,000, I would say. But yes, you can see that the Egyptian player, again, holding these strategic choke points here. Not sure if I really would have put these stakes here, because the stakes are mostly used for cavalry. They don't really have any negative input on infantry as they come off the walls. However, the sharp stone beds is a good call, because it does slow the unit from getting into melee. There we go, we've got the Galatian swordsman holding strong. And let's take a look at what we've got over on the other side as well. Yeah, so it looks like Tattoos and Welding sending some Levy Freemen up onto the walls as well. He did lose one of his siege towers, unfortunately, to the Greek bastion Ballista. But I think the Ballista has used up all of its ammo now, and we've got some more cheap Levy Freemen coming up onto the walls. Again, good call there, keeping his chosen swordsmen in reserve until the Egyptian slingers have used up all of their ammunition. But I think that the Egyptians are doing much better over on this side. On this flank, they're kind of getting surrounded a little bit. You can see Celtic warriors have already pushed to the second line of Galatian swordsmen here, but it's a little bit of a standoff. We've also got the Romans slowly filtering some forces in, and there's a kind of a Mexican standoff here between the veteran legionaries and the Spartan hoplites. They're just kind of standing there looking at each other. Neither one really wants to engage at this point, but the walls are just laden with Celtic warriors from Joe Onnet. Joe Onnet is this player here, and then we do have Rodriguez over on this far side. But the Romans are going to have to do a lot of the heavy lifting, especially against the heavy Seleucid units, like the Silver Shield Swordsmen that we have over here. But the Spartan hoplites are also very tough units, very tanky units. They can hold for quite some time. Unfortunately, we do have the Celtic warriors starting to break over here, but that's kind of to be expected. They're not going to do that well in melee. Let's go ahead and hit some slow motion here so we can see maybe right down the battle line. So very tough fight at the gates here for Tattoos and Welding. Again, he's kind of all alone, but at the same time, the defenders didn't focus a lot of their cavalry against him, which is really good. I feel like if they did charge out the gate with what cavalry they did have, Tattoos would have been in a much worse position. However, if you guys do take a look at this inner city here, they've got some really good strategic choke points to hold, and all of these towers are operational as well. So it's kind of like they have a second line of defense, like the good old medieval 2 days when you could have fortresses that have 2-layer walls and citadels which have 3. But yes, you can see that we do have the Seleucid general out here along with the Spartan citizen cavalry, and that's because in their inner city they actually have this sneaky little gate here where they can move units in and out of the city unopposed. So they have to be really careful over here. It looks like the Roman player is aware of it. He's got his Sochi Equites here, and Joe has his light horse units over here as well. We do have a Roman ballista moving over as well. I neglected to mention this in the army composition, but you should have still seen it in the unit card for the Romans. But yeah, so what basically is going on here, though, why it's so slow moving forwards, is because a couple of the siege towers actually glitched out at this point. So most of the Roman units are just going through the gate that was captured by Rodriguez. But yeah, you can see some really nice shots from the Helot Slingers over here, getting those Celtic warriors. Again, unsure if that's really worth it, though, to fire at those Celtic warriors. I would probably be saving my ammunition for some more juicy targets, like the Naked Warriors, which have no armor whatsoever, or the Chosen Swordsmen. Firing at the Oathsworn is kind of a waste of time. You're not really going to get any kills on them, but Chosen Swordsmen, that's a pretty solid shout, trying to weaken them. But actually, it looks like we're going to have a rear charge on the unit of Galatian swordsmen here. It looks like they did break through on this side, and we actually have some Galatian swordsmen moving up the walls, which is very interesting, so stopping the Levy Freemen from moving in. The Levy Freemen over here are starting to waver, the Celtic warriors holding strong, and it looks like they are going to try and go after the Egyptian slingers, but I think I would just, rather rear charge this unit and break it if possible. Some really nice Pila throws from the Thurio spears, but it looks like a return volley from the Celtic warriors. We're getting the charge coming through here. Will they be able to get another volley off? Yes, it looks like they are going to fire. Oh, a couple of kills there. The ones right in the front line getting hit hard. Very nice. Very nice indeed. So yeah, Tattoos, he still has a lot of his best units in reserve, which is good. He also has his Gallic Hunters. They will be very good once they get up onto the walls. They will easily outclass these Egyptian slingers. But it looks like these Spartan hoplites are lending some support over here, covering their retreat. And we've also got some of the burning hay bales here, so hopefully we'll be able to see them in action. But yeah, this area over here is very Spartan and Seleucid strong. The Egyptians mostly focusing on the outer city, and I think the heavier Greek infantry are focusing on the inner city. But here we go, we finally got some action here with these Spartan hoplites, but I am hearing some firing from that Roman ballista. So it looks like it was set up over in this area, so it's probably trying to go after the Silver Shield Swordsman, which is a really good target to go for. Let's actually see if we can watch this battle unfolding from up here. So yeah, these are veteran legionaries, so they should be able to cut through these Spartan hoplites with relative ease. But the problem with hoplites is that they hold for so long. So the veteran legionaries will win this in the long run, but they're just going to be exhausted by the time they defeat this one unit, and they're going to have to deal with a lot of other Spartan units. Be very interested to see where that ballista is firing. Although it might... Oh, it's actually this this Greek onager. Where is it firing at? Is it firing at these units here that are climbing the towers? Yeah, it looks like they are. Interesting. And how is that cavalry doing? Oh, so we've actually got Tattoos and Weldings. I believe this is his heavy horse. Moving over here to engage the Hellenic Cataphracts. That is a battle that he will surely lose. Not only are the Hellenic Cataphracts much better in melee and on the charge, but he's in range of this arrow tower here too, so he's going to be losing men to that as well. Plus, just to have icing on the cake here, we've got the Citizen Cavalry moving in. But I think he is trying to stall them from getting over to his units until Tattoos can conquer this wall. But here we go. We've actually got some Spartans over here to help out. In this battle. Let's go ahead and put it on slow motion so we can take a look. Oh, just in time to see that Celtic warrior there get skewered. I love the traditional Egyptian units, though. I really, really like the way they look. I understand that, you know, with the Ptolemaic kingdom that most of the units have a very Greek flavor to them, but I think the native Egyptian units are really cool too. It's just too bad that they're so underpowered. They really, really suck in melee. Like, this guy just kicked the other guy in the face. Wow. That was insane. Yeah, that was like, I've never seen that animation before. He like roundhouse kicked him to death, pretty much. Let's see what goes on here. See if he can kill this Egyptian here. I believe this is a slinger unit too, so he probably will die soon. Oh, he's getting some backup now. The Egyptian has to 2v1 the heavier chosen swordsman. Oh, yep. Done and done. So Tattoos and Welding is slowly making progress over here, but at the cost of many men. However, on the other side, I think things are going a little bit better for the defenders, again, having the heavier Spartan units. It looks like they're trying to bait the Romans in here by having some Spartan hoplites here, and then they will be able to flank with this other unit of hoplites. But the Romans are just taking their time, just slowly holding back. And actually, it looks like the Romans were going to try and sneak a veteran legionary unit around, but I guess with the pathfinding, it just didn't work. So that is a pretty smart play by the Romans. And here we go. Oh no, we got the... Okay, we're good. I thought this was enemy units. I was going to say the auxiliary Syrian archers already engaged in melee. But no, we're fine. We're fine. The Spartan hoplite units starting to be a little bit surrounded as well, but not before they've taken down a couple units of Celtic warriors. You can actually take a look at the kills by this hoplite unit. 126 so far. So that is pretty solid. So the veteran legionaries here, 74 kills to the Spartan hoplites, 69. Wow, that's actually pretty impressive for them, for a spear unit. But I want to keep an eye on this cavalry. Yeah, so easily slaughtering that heavy horse there, as you can see. A lot of them finished off. And now it looks like they are going to be headed over to Tattoo's side, but I think he does realize this, and he will be forming up his forces in a nice defensive formation to protect his archers. He also needs to get his archers up onto the wall if possible. Well, let's see what's going on over here. We've got the Sochi Equites inside the settlement along with the general's bodyguard, and it looks like we do have some chosen swordsmen moving up. Right, here we go, the Romans again, cautiously taking more territory, and it looks like they are going to move in against the Seleucids here. Let's go ahead and jump into this charge. I'm assuming that they're going to be charging, maybe not. Maybe not. Or maybe yes? Are they going in? I'm not too sure. Maybe not. Maybe they're going to hold out for a little bit longer. But yeah, now these Spartans are fighting back to back, unfortunately. You can see that they are completely surrounded by the Arverni forces. Again, stakes, I mean, it looks pretty cool for them to be fighting through the stakes, but it would have been much better to actually put these in front of the gates, because after the Romans captured the gates here... Oh, actually, well done. They did have stakes here, so that is good. Did the cavalry take any damage in that, I wonder? Let's put this back on play. 80 out of 80. No, so I wonder if the infantry was able to dismantle those stakes so that the cavalry could pass through. But well done to the defenders, so they were definitely thinking the same thing that I was thinking. Okay, so what's going on over here? Yes, we do have the citizen cavalry kind of chilling over here. Hellenic cataphracts are still hidden, as far as I can see. And it looks like we do have some Galatian swordsmen moving up here, adding some reinforcements. We got the Thurio spears firing their pila at the chosen swordsman. Not going to get too many kills with that, but I guess it is better than nothing. The Egyptian player is going to have to play this very safely, though, because these Thurio spears won't last long in melee, and he has to be ready with more troops. I would have the Galatian swordsman up closer here. But actually, it looks like the Egyptians are going to be going on the defensive, trying to get a side charge on the chosen swordsman. But looks like we do have some Celtic warriors in reserve to defend the Gallic hunters. And all this Roman cavalry is kind of just waiting. And here we go. Yes, so the Seleucids are finally engaged in melee. And it looks like he's already pulling back his silver shield swordsman over here and his thorax swordsman. And yeah, the Spartan hoplites with a 93 kills starting to waver. Veteran legionaries actually took quite a bit of a beating, so I'm very surprised to see how many losses they took to that spear unit. Very interesting indeed. But let's go ahead and take a look at this battle. The silver shield swordsman, the best Greek infantry, I believe, for the Seleucids, going toe-to-toe against the Roman war machine. Oh, over his shield. Wow, and that volley there. My goodness. Oh. Yeah, so the silver shield's definitely having a bit of a problem holding to the Romans, and also we've got the veteran legionaries quickly flanking around the silver shield swordsmen over here. But we do have the support of the helot archers who are trying to fire into the flank of the legionaries. But unfortunately, this silver shield swordsman, which is a very expensive unit, going to be eliminated with only 24 kills. That is not good for the defenders. But over here, again, another Spartan hoplite unit, very strong, holding back these veteran legionaries. And how is Tattoo's doing? He does have his chosen swordsman in here now, finally getting those Gallic hunters up on the walls. And we've got the committed Thurio spears over here fighting the chosen swordsman in melee. Let's go ahead and just put that onto slow motion once again for a little bit. Yeah, usually my Rome 2 battles are actually quite smooth, but for some reason this battle in particular was very, it's very laggy. And usually 4v3s I don't really have a problem running them, so it must be something to do with this battle, possibly. But I have reduced the shadows as well, and it doesn't seem to make too much of a difference. So that's why we're going to utilize slow motion for a lot of the in-close fighting, which in itself is pretty epic. Yeah, the Egyptian units just really not standing up well to the Galatian swordsmen. Or sorry, the chosen swordsmen. Now that the better units for tattoos are in the city, the Egyptians are quickly losing ground. We do have some Helot slingers over here that are firing, lending some aid. And we do have some engagements over here against the Thurio spears. But yeah, as I said, look at that. They do have 56 kills, which is good, but they are quickly being overwhelmed. And a little bit too many units here, I would say, fighting these 2 units of Galatian swordsmen. It's a lot of units of Celtic warriors, but we do have some naked warriors in the battle as well. And the Romans just patiently waiting to use their cavalry. But it looks like they are not going to engage this area just yet. This is by far the most highly fortified area. So we've got some thorax swordsmen and silver shield swordsmen. But right back here, we've got 2 units of silver shield pikemen and a hero of Sparta unit. And this guy tried to get all the way up the steps and then was just slaughtered. Oh, that is too bad. But they do have a lot of the Spartan Helot archers up on the walls too, so that is a bit of a problem. But oh, here we go. So it looks like Joe Onnet bringing his light horse over to battle the Hellenic cataphracts. Again, that's a battle that he's going to lose. The light horse absolutely suck in melee. They have a bit of a good charge bonus against like lightly armored units or archers, but the only thing that light horse are really good for is running down enemy units. The Hellenic cataphracts are just too heavily armored, and they're going to slaughter these units. Yep, there we go. See, there goes one. And I see another one. Yep, just kicked right off his horse. So yeah, that's really not a good trade-off, unfortunately. Both units are eliminated by the Hellenic cataphracts, up to 166 kills already. And yeah, we do have Tattoos and Welding moving his chosen swordsman inside the city. Once he does get them inside the gates, I don't believe the Hellenic cataphracts will be able to pursue, because the gate is 0 damage, so he won't be able to get in here. And not only that, he will kill his own general if he does charge through the stakes here. So he will probably just bring them back up this way and then into the inner city. But it almost looks like there's a little bit of a lull now. Oh, hold on. What's going on here? We've got 2 Spartan hoplite units that are completely surrounded. Uh-oh. That is not good for the defenders here. We've got some Sochi Equites charging in as well. It looks like there's a little bit of some weird glitching going on. They're jumping all over the place. Oh, but that is not good. So it looks like the Romans were able to surround them. So that is 2 very good units that are now taken out of the fight. And actually, look at the Romans up here having some auxiliary Syrian archers up on this wall. That is awesome. But we do have some Egyptian pikemen moving in here. Now, these aren't the traditional Egyptian pikemen. These are the Tier 1 Greek pikemen. So they're pretty solid, good and heavily armored. They should be able to drive off these veteran legionaries, but we do have more in reserve coming over. Looks like the Spartan hoplites trying to pull out of this fight, but we've got another veteran legionary unit there to stop them from escaping. We do have some heavy horse over here. We've got some more Sochi Equites over on this flank with some chosen swordsmen. And yeah, the outer city has definitely been won. There's some pockets of fighting here, but I'm going to make a quick cut here, guys, because there is a pretty extended skirmish phase, and we will pick it back up once the battle renews in vigor. Alright guys, welcome back to the battlefield, and as you can see, we've got the great push from the chosen swordsman here, taking on the Thurio spears just outside the inner city walls. And let's go ahead and zoom out and take a look at what is going on the rest of the battlefield. So we've got a good push from the Celtic warriors here on the Thurio spears. On this side, we've also got some Celtic warriors pushing on the Spartan hoplites, and they are actually able to break them because the pikemen aren't pushed forwards enough to lend a hand there. Over on this side, we do have the Gallic hunters trying to get some good volleys off on the Spartan pikemen. You can see they've already killed 40 men, but unfortunately the overwhelming Helot slingers and Nubian bowmen here are just singling out the Gallic hunters. So I think Tattoos needs to have a few more units here to combat that, but they just have a superior position, being up on the walls and protected from enemy fire. Over here, not much is going on. We've got a depleted unit of chosen swordsmen that are just kind of staring at the thorax swordsmen and silver shield swordsmen of the Seleucids. But yeah, look at this huge chain route over here. So the Thurio spears really holding their own in melee. But I think we do have some of the chosen swordsmen in here as well. So this will probably make it more difficult for the Thurio spears. This unit of pikemen is actually withdrawing behind the Spartans. I think that is a pretty good call. They need to just hold up in their choke points. I would actually pull these two back here as well and allow the towers to kind of get some good fire off. But again, very passive from the Romans over here, and Joe on it also kind of sitting back, just weighing his options, I believe, seeing where they're softest, and also I think they're trying to waste some of the ammunition of these units here by putting depleted units of veteran legionaries here to soak up that ammunition. Just wanted to see if the Hellenic cataphracts are over here. It doesn't look like it, so I'm not sure exactly where they are, but they're probably back inside the inner city. Doesn't really matter anyways. Most of the generals are inside the settlement, and they're pretty well protected. We do have this ballista coming up here, though. We've got 1, 2, 3. Where's the fourth one? Oh, no, it's there. So we got the 3 there. This one's just lagging behind. So I think they're actually going to be bringing this ballista up to fire right into the silver shield swordsman, which I guess is a very good idea. You do want to get rid of those very powerful units early on. But here we go. Looks like we do have some of the Syrian heavy archers that have used up their ammunition pushing out into melee against the chosen swordsman. I think I would have maybe rather had them supporting the pikemen. This seems like a bit of a throwaway unit, unfortunately. But every man counts. Even archers that have used up their ammunition are so crucial in sieges like this, especially when you're outnumbered, and also especially when you're up against Romans. But I'm really impressed with these Thurio spears over here. 114 kills, and they are holding their own against the chosen swordsmen, along with the Celtic warriors as well. So well done to them. But if the Syrian, I guess that's the only reason the Syrian archers were pushed into melee, maybe to give the Thurio spears a little more time to hold, and so they wouldn't actually be outflanked by that other unit of Celtic warriors. But the good thing is you can see the fire arrows coming in are from the tower, so the Arverni are in range of that inner city tower now. Hold. Oh, they're starting to thin out now. They barely got 2 ranks deep on the Thurio spears, and we've got the Celtic warriors coming in here for a flank. Let's take a look at this. Ooh, volleys on their backs, though, as they do charge into melee. Here we go, another volley. Oh. That was a good volley on the Thurio spears. And this will probably break them right away. Yep, there we go. So the Thurio spears driven back. Only a few of them still alive. Looks like maybe 4 of them will make it back. Actually, 3 now. Will they make it back to the Spartan lines? Chosen swordsmen hot on their tails. Yes, it looks like they will actually escape. That is very lucky. And the chosen swordsmen stopping just shy of those Spartan pikemen. Let's see what else is going on over here. So we've almost got... Oh, it looks like the Roman ballista is in position. Guess they are going to start firing on to the thorax swordsman over there on that flank. But tattoos and welding, yeah, pretty smart. Just holding back at this point. The heroes of Sparta and Spartan pikemen will probably best his units. The Arverni don't have really anything to combat pikemen except for archers. But yeah, this chosen swordsman unit is taking quite a beating, not only from the Helot slingers up there, but also these 2 towers. You guys are madmen! Turn back! Turn back! You'll never win! Don't face the Spartans! You fools! Victory for Gaul? There will be no victory here. Yeah, are they just holding out, or have they broken? I'm not exactly sure. Oh, yeah, see, taking a lot of damage from those towers. Yeah, see, he's not even wasting the ammunition of the units. They've actually pulled back. The towers are the ones that are actually getting all the kills. Yeah, so I think he's just trying to keep these units maybe busy so that they don't reinforce the other sides of the battle. But it looks like chosen swordsmen were driven back here, so this inner siege might actually work well for the defenders. Just depends on how much ammunition the Romans and Arverni still have left. But it looks like we got another little lull, guys. So let's have another little cut here, and we'll pick it back up once we have some action. Alright guys, welcome back, and I just saw a bold sally out from the Seleucid general getting a huge charge into the chosen swordsmen, but the chosen swordsmen actually tanked the charge very well and are now proceeding to cut down the Seleucid general. So let's actually take a look at what the kill counter is for it. Yeah, 224 kills. I think it maybe killed about 10 to 15 of the chosen swordsmen. They were in shield wall, so they were able to kind of, as I said, tank that charge. I tried to catch the charge for you, but it was so laggy. So, what do we have coming around here? We've actually got some heavy horse here as well, so unfortunately this is the end of the Hellenic cataphracts. The Seleucid general also, I have mixed feelings about him coming out like this because he has so many valuable units for the defenders at this point. He's got his 2 silver shield pikemen, which can get tons of kills against Romans. He's got a bunch of hillmen still left. He's got his silver shield swordsman and his thorax swordsman. But now that he's thrown his general away like that, he has caused all of his units to have a pretty big morale debuff. Unfortunately, that will probably cost them in the long run. I don't think that that charge was worth it to get rid of that chosen swordsman unit. So well done, Tattoos, on holding him back there. And then I believe this might be Rodriguez's heavy horse who came in to seal that deal and make sure that the Hellenic cataphracts were driven from the battlefield altogether. But we've got another little stalemate here. It's very interesting. Even though the balance of power is well in the attacker's favor, I think they're still just trying to waste the ammunition of the defenders, which I think is they pretty much succeeded on because we really don't have too much firing going on from the Spartan and Egyptian archers, but we do have some firing at this unit of silver shield swordsmen. Down to 113 out of 160 already. Let's get a little bit of a slow motion here and see what they're looking at as this massive Roman ballista begins to fire on them. But again, there's really just not much that the defenders can do about this. I would probably say withdraw these units within the inner city and get them behind the wall so that they're a little bit more protected. Because right now they're just throwing 2 of these units away for absolutely nothing to that Roman ballista. Oh, here comes a shot. Yeah, this looks like it's going to be a good one. I lied. Maybe this one will hit. Not too sure. Oh, right over their heads and actually travels up the steps. Is it gonna hit them coming back down the stairs? No, but man, these are such close shots. I would be definitely ordering my units to get back from that. They're not going to withstand too many ballista shots like that. Yeah, there we go. Of course, as soon as I pull away, I see one rip through the unit. Down to 105, so they lost another 10 to 11 men. Thorax swordsmen also getting absolutely thrashed. You can see a couple of them burning as well. Dang, so that is not good, but it looks like we do have some pushing over here from the Arverni. We've got the chosen swordsmen moving up to probably use their Pila against the Spartan pikemen. How are the Spartan pikemen looking? Yeah, down to half strength. Chosen swordsman getting pretty wrecked as well, though, but I think that's a fair trade-off. Got the light peltis. They've got that good armor piercing. Ripping through the chosen swordsman. But they have so many reserves still left. They've got the Gallic hunters over here that are moving up to probably focus down the pikemen. And again, sending in one unit. We got the chosen swordsman moving in, but I do believe we do have a couple more healthy units that will be reinforcing this position. The Romans kind of just sitting there. Why lose men for no reason, I guess. Don't be cheering too much, men. Especially when that ballista starts to come towards you. Yeah, I don't like the look of them either, but here we stand. I wonder if the ballista is out of ammunition. Can't really tell. I think it is still firing. No, it's not firing any longer, so it might actually be out of ammo. But here we go. We've got a nice charge from Tattoos. Moving up this flank against the Spartan pikemen. We've got the heroes of Sparta here as well, ready to hold. Come on, Arverni, push up. Oh, they're actually using their Pila. Well done, well done. And we've got the Helots charging down the slopes. Going to silence them. That is pretty funny. Just a massive slave attack there on the chosen swordsman, actually silencing them from going after the pikemen. Well done there. And over here, yes, we do have some more chosen swordsmen engaged, but I believe the light peltists have used up all their ammunition, so now they are in melee. The light peltists aren't that great in melee, but the traditional peltists are pretty solid. And I do see that this Roman ballista is firing once again. Yep, ripping through the thorax swordsman and silver shield swordsman. More of the chosen swordsmen coming in over here. Hopefully those Spartan pikemen can hold. They're already up to 65 kills, which is pretty solid. And that is a nice shot there. You can see the mountains of dead bodies. But I think that at this point, the defenders are too outnumbered, and they don't have any ammunition left. They are holding the towers, which is really good. But at the same time, the pikemen that are supposed to be their big defense units, they're so depleted from the enemy's archers. And what do we got going over here? Yeah, so it looks like we got more Helots charging down. We actually had the heroes of Sparta moving down there as well, but they are retreating, allowing the Helots to sacrifice themselves for the good of the royal Spartans. Actually, I saw a Helot get a kill there on a chosen sword. That is embarrassing. But yeah, they're pretty much just forcing their way through now. Oh, they're pulling back. Wow, well done, Helots. Oh, this guy shot with a flaming arrow. And the Helots actually driving the swordsman back. Wow. These guys need to be released from slavery. I think they need to be welcomed into the fold. The heroes of Sparta pulling back with 3 kills. Wow, these Helot slingers, I know that these kills are not from them being in melee, but I mean, pretty impressive kills altogether. And we just have 8 minutes left in this battle, but again, it's just not looking good for the defenders. There's so many Arverni reserves over here. The Romans are a little bit banged up, but we do actually have them engaging the Silver Shield Swordsman over here. 2 units of fresh legionaries, and we've got an absolute hillman rush over here. Look at this river of hillmen just moving into the battle. basically just sending in all of his remaining units here, bolstering the lines of the Silver Shield Swordsmen, but the Hillmen are pretty garbage. They're not the best units, unfortunately. Huge hits with the Ballista, actually going for the Silver Shield Pikemen now that they are not hidden. And that's probably the best units that the defenders do have, is the Silver Shield Pikemen. And unfortunately, with the General being dead, they probably won't perform as well as they should be. Hillmen already breaking. You can see them actually going back up the steps into the inner city. So yeah, I think the defenders realize that this is probably going to be a loss for them. Silver Shield Pikemen, 8 losses here and 11 losses there, but they haven't inflicted any casualties on the enemy. So that is too bad to see. Yeah, the Roman Ballista definitely firing up and over. Not very accurate, though, which is kind of surprising, considering how close it is. There we go. We got a... Oh, yes, that was a good shot there. Yes, that too. Oh, man. It's just so tough to see if you're rooting for the defenders. Over here, though. We've got the Egyptian war elephants. They've been activated over here. So they are pushing back the chosen swordsmen in melee, saving the heroes of Sparta here. Looks like the Spartan pikemen are helping the elephants in melee, so they have pushed forwards just a bit. But I would just push these elephants right through. There you go. Yes, push them through. Push them through. Yeah, they're pushing through, and I think they're actually going for Tattoo's infantry, and Tattoo is like, no way am I battling that. I am out of here. Pulling back his units, and the elephants are fine with that. Looks like they're actually going to go and hit the naked warriors over here. We've got the heavy horse moving in. I mean, they're okay against the elephants. They do kind of stop them in their tracks, which is good, so that they don't get to all of the infantry, but they're not really going to get too many kills. Oh, but I do want to see this here. This is going to be absolutely disgusting. Well done using fire arrows to try and get the elephants to go berserk, but here we go. I want to see this charge. This is going to make the entire video. I love elephant charges in this game. I just have to figure out which way they're going here. Oh, no. Don't go berserk yet. Oh, they're already berserk. Okay, it looks like they're going into the Gallic hunters here. Oh, here we go. Nice. There we go. Yeah, running right through. They're actually rampaging right into the naked fanatics as well. And I don't believe that they are being controlled at the moment because they have gone berserk at this point. Sending in the heavy horse, though, to try and block them in so that they don't rampage through all their units is a pretty solid shout. But yeah, those naked warriors with 0 kills are already routing. Trying to pull the heavy horse out of melee there. The elephant's already up to 227 kills, and it looks like even though they're rampaging, they're going right for the Roman cavalry here. Oh, no, it looks like they might turn around. Nope, they're going for it. Nice, nice. And this is just an all-out retreat from the Arverni, pulling back their entire forces here. And yeah, he needs to try and get his elephants out of there, but the Sochi Equites are going to try and block them in. And then I'm guessing the Gallic hunters are going to fire on the elephants and try and kill them or get them to go out of control once again. Okay, it looks like they are going to travel up the steps there, which is a good call. Get rid of this entire flank here, relieve the defenders just a little bit. And over here again, man, just so much ammunition. Looks like we got Balearic slingers and Syrian archers just melting these very expensive pikemen. And this is the problem when you are defending. If you run out of ammunition before the attackers, you're pretty much a sitting duck. So that is really tough to see. Really tough to see indeed. 3 minutes left in this battle, and the elephants, I guess, have gone berserk again, and yeah, they're starting to die at this point, so I think that is going to be the extent of their damage, which is too bad. Usually they could get another 200-300 kills, but I think just the fire arrows causing them to go out of control all the time must have been frustrating for the Egyptians. But now it looks like Tattoos is safe to send in his Oathsworn over here to go toe-to-toe against the heroes of Sparta. Let's take a look at this engagement. Yes, the heroes of Sparta pushing them back. And have the Spartan pikemen broken over here? Yes, it looks like they have. And I think these are not reinforcements. They have also routed, yeah. So the heroes of Sparta... Oh no, the heroes of Sparta are actually breaking with 69 men left. Oh, but I think it's just an all-out general break at this point. The Egyptians have broken probably from the death of their general down to 8. And we all know the Seleucid general has been defeated as well. So it's pretty much down to the Royal Spartan unit. But it's safe to say that this is an overwhelming victory for the Arverni and Romans. The Romans did take quite a bit of casualties, but I think the one who took the most damage was Tattoos and Welding. Again, kind of being all alone on this side, it's really hard to get a foothold in the city. But the 3 other players over here were able to kind of work with each other. And here we go. Let's watch the Royal Spartans here, about to be surrounded by the Roman legions, but they are going to hold strong. That's right, keep fighting. And here we go, we've got a side charge over here from the Roman armored legionaries. Oh, and come on, throwing Pila? Just charge into melee, you've already won. Give them an honorable death, a soldier's death. Come on, kill a couple of these Romans here. Yeah, throwing back some of the Roman legionaries to the line. But yes, look at this, just going to fire at them. There we go, charge in. Come on, charge in. Yeah, there we go. Let the Spartans die honorably in melee. Don't just throw your Pila into them. And here we go, looks like we've got some of the Oathsworn moving in as well. And we've also got Tattoos and Weldings in the distance there, his reinforcements coming in. But I think that these Spartans will be breaking very shortly here. And we've also got some cavalry coming in. Nice charge into their allies, though. Really nice charge into the Romans. But we all know the Arverni don't really like the Romans anyways. But there we go, a costly victory. So let's end the replay and take a look at the end results here. So yeah, we got 3, 6, 9, 11. So that's like 11,000 attackers. And then we've got 7,000 defenders here. But looking at Joe on it here, his cavalry, again, didn't really do well against the Hellenic cataphracts, but good kills on his archers. Good kills on his swords. Tattoos and Welding here. Some pretty good kills on those Celtic warriors, but really doing the heavy lifting with his chosen swordsman. And his Oathsworn didn't get too many kills, but they were moved in at the end of the battle. Looking at Rodriguez, a lot of his units didn't even see action, but his Celtic warriors did pretty solid. And the Romans, yeah, 264 with that Roman ballista, and those were very expensive units too. And high kills on his archers, good kills on the armored legionaries, pretty much good kills all around except his cavalry. And looking at the Spartans here, yeah, 240, 175, 239, 259 with his skirmishers, so excellent there. But yeah, those heroes of Sparta, a couple of the Spartan hoplites being caught out early on, that really wasn't good for them. But other units had good kills, 172, 130 here. Looking at the Egyptians, yeah, 322 by the end, so that's pretty solid for War Elephants. Really good job with his skirmishers, and good mix of kills with the Galatian swordsmen. They're kind of tier 2 units, so 210 is really good. Unfortunately, with those pikemen, though, no kills whatsoever. And looking at the Seleucids, a really good job with his general. Peltus did well. The Hillmen did absolutely nothing. Yeah, they're pretty garbage infantry. And this is so sad to see. 0 kills on the Silver Shield Pikemen and 75 kills collectively from the Silver Shield Swordsmen. So this was probably most of his money in these 4 units, and they just did not perform well. But such is the way of Total War. But that ends the battle, guys, so hopefully you did enjoy. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this in the future, and I will see you in the next one.